Okay, in today's quick tip, I'm going to talk about a router setup that I made years ago and I use all the time. And it just deals with attaching a piece of plywood to my router base here with 3 screws and putting it in my woodworking vise and using it as a router table. It's easy to make. This piece of plywood, it's 9 inches by 14 and just about 14 and a half. And you want to make sure that you make it narrow enough to fit in your woodworking vise. And I have a good router table with a nice lift in it and everything, but sometimes it's easier and faster to just take this out if it's already set up and clamp it in your vise and use it for small pieces. I use it mainly, I have a round over bit in it mostly. I use it for just rounding over corners of pieces. This is a butt block I'm getting ready to put in the boat, and I want to round over the corners. And I also use it for template work. I'll put a pattern bit in here like this one. This pattern bit's nice because it has a bearing on the top and the bottom. And like when I was making cannons, this is a template for a naval cannon. I'll put it on a piece of wood, cut it out on a bandsaw or a jigsaw, a little bit proud, and then I'll run it through here. And also it's nice to have, sometimes I need 2 setups. Sometimes I'll have a setup on my router table and then this just adds, and it allows me to have one more setup. And this is a 1.5 horse Porta-Cable. It's a really common router. And I'll take the base off of it and mount the piece of plywood to it. So all you need to do this is a piece of plywood and 3 screws. These are machine screws that are, make sure I get that screw, there it is, that are a little bit longer than the originals. These are 1 inch, so I'll set the original ones to the side. And this is a 1 5/8 hole, and that accommodates most of the bits that I use. So I'll just put this on here. Now this might be obvious to a lot of people, and there's probably a lot of people out there that do something like this. The first time I thought of doing something like this, it was about 10 years ago. I saw a guy, he had a laminate router clamped into a vise, and he, upside down, and he was using that. And I thought this would probably be a little bit more safe than that. And also what's nice, sometimes you need a smaller base like this. If you have a piece of wood that has like a bow or a twist in it, on the bigger router table bases, sometimes that's too wide and you can't push that down to where you can get a good cut on the blade and keep it flat against the table. With a smaller surface like this, for working trim and stuff, it's really nice. So I have the base tightened up now, or the plywood, and I'll just set it in my vise here, and I set it so that's a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. I set it so the plywood's up about a 1/16 or an 1/8 above my vise, so nothing's going to hit it. And I'll go ahead and plug it in now. And I'll just show you how it run. I'll just run a piece through here real quick. I'll put my earmuffs on. So here's the piece. I just want to round over these edges. Just got to find the switch. So there it is. So it's just a fast, easy way to mount a router in a vise to be able to round something over or use a pattern bit in it. Okay?